Welcome back to the channel. It's your host Argento bringing you another YouTube video. Now in today's video I'm doing something a bit different. I'm going to be talking about something that I've been thinking about for the past week or two, and I think this is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be a good video. So getting into this, I'm going to be talking about how video game developers can add video game betting into their games. Now I think at this day and age right now, we're 2 months away from getting the next generation of consoles. The new generation of consoles and the PCs, they're getting faster, they're getting more storage, they're getting everything new and improved. So I think now developers will have more opportunities to expand their horizons, not only with their games, but with how they play and what new additions can they add. Because one thing about capitalism is that companies are always looking for that next big idea, just the next idea that makes them stand out in front of all their other competitors. And I really think for video games, that's going to be video game betting, is being able to bet on yourselves, maybe to bet on your favorite video game professionals, and win some rewards. Just how, like in horse racing, you can bet on really any combination or any horse to win a race, or you can bet basketball, soccer, baseball, football, and then you can go to the casino, you can bet cards, literally anything. Literally there's gambling for everything in life. So why not have betting for the biggest industry right now? Something that's so popular, and it's been so popular for such a long time, that if they were to add this would make the video game and industry the biggest thing ever. Just because there'd be more people betting on themselves or betting on their favorite gamers, then they'd be going to the casinos or betting sports. Because let's be honest, a lot of gamers, they don't really like sports that much. That's always been like the stereotype, is that gamers are nerds. But in this day and age, everybody plays video games. And what would make video games more competitive, would make people play them more, is if you can win money while doing it. And that's something that I'm thinking to myself, like, if they added, say, to COD, if I could bet on like a game, if I could win, how many kills I'd get, how many assists I get, how many times I could die in a game, how many points I can get, or how much I can beat them by, how much my team can beat them by, would also be known as the spread. I would be playing this game all day long, and guess what? I'd be betting on myself all day long. Just because, one, gambling is very addicting. That's basically, anyone who likes betting knows that if you start and you can't stop, it can be really destructive. But for these gaming companies, I think this is the next big thing. I really think that it's the next big thing. The amount of revenue it would make, to just because everybody would be betting constantly, because you don't play one video game. You don't play one game of TDM or one game of Warzone. You probably play what, 5 to 10 games in a row, and then take a break, do it again. And especially, this would bring back the fan base of 20, 30, 40-year-olds and up who they kind of stopped playing just because, you know, life gets busy. Oh, this is some. I just gotta stop for a second. That guy I just shot at, I shot him in the head, and it did nothing to him. He just ate it, and then he just disappeared for the rest of the game. That bothered me. I was in awe, because that guy was friggin' Jesus Christ. So, getting back to what I was saying. The amount of revenue it would build for these companies. Video game betting would bring back a lot of their fan base. There'd be so much. The amount of in-game purchases, like skins, camos, everything else would go up because at the end of the day, people would be like, I got all this money. Why don't I buy skins? Or why don't I buy that DLC? Or something. I think that would also be good to add in this game. Now, I don't know how the odds would work in this game, especially betting on yourself. It'd be a safer bet than to bet on a player to do something. So I don't know what the odds would be for that game, but that's a small fraction of this big theory, this big idea that I have. That could just be like an algorithm that figures that out. So, also, something that would be a concern is how to get people, like, how to make sure there's not, like, a bunch of kids being able to bet. Just because kids are very irresponsible and immature. They would fake their account so that they would be able to bet illegally. So I would definitely say when you make an account, and especially if this becomes a big thing, is that you'd probably have to add where you are, just because there's different regulations for the minimum age of betting. I would have to say, yeah, put your social security number. You'd have to go through a lot of other things, maybe like a driver's license or just points of just identification, just to make sure that there's nothing illegal going on. And also, I would have to say, to talk about boosting and cheating, I would have to say if you do get caught, I'd have to say you wouldn't be allowed to play that game ever again. Just because if you're betting and you're cheating, I would have to say you can't. The best thing would be you can't play that game ever again. But I definitely think that this would be a good idea. Now, I want to hear your feedback on this. So if you like this idea and you think that it's a good idea, please write in the comments and tell me what you think. And also, if you like this and you like betting, especially like people who like betting on like sports, if you want to see this, share it with your friends. And maybe if we get enough like views, maybe a developer sees this and says, this is a great idea. Why don't we like bring this up in the next meeting? But I hope you enjoyed this video, because you know, I like talking about video games and like how to get better, but this was something that really just caught my mind, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about this. So please just write in the comments if you like this like idea and you think that like this would be a good idea to add into the game. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw this game. It kind of went off, just a little bit. I hope that you enjoyed the gameplay. I hope you enjoyed my idea. Make sure you like and subscribe. Please share with your friends. And as always, it's Sargento. I'll see you in the next video. I love you guys. Peace.